Hey guys, if you want to learn how to do a time lapse with a GoPro, stick around. I'll go over the camera settings, the environment that you need to be in. So what I mean by that, in a low light pollution area, I'll show a couple of websites that can help you find that. I'll go over post-production. So what I did was edited photos, many photos, hundreds of photos in Adobe Lightroom, and then I made a video in Premiere Pro. Also in the time lapse that I just showed at the start of the video, um, you can see like a star trail effect. Let me know in the comments if you want me to show you how to do that. It's rather simple. But I'll be more than happy to do another tutorial on just that. Okay, now we'll go over the settings. This is a GoPro Hero 6. So what we're going to do is go into night time-lapse mode or night lapse mode. Set your shutter speed to 30 seconds. Interval, leave it at auto. Field of view, put it or leave it as wide. Now you want to turn on Pro Tune. This will give you advanced settings. So set your ISO minimum to 100. ISO max 800. White balance, I like to put it at 3200. It gives you a nice sort of blue night sky effect. But you can also change it in post if you don't like that. Sharpness, I'll leave it at low to adjust later in post-production. Color, leave it as flat, again, change it in post. And you want to leave raw format on. So raw format, uncompressed files, so you have much more data to play around with. Okay, and that's it for the GoPro Hero 6. When I did the time-lapse, the GoPro Hero 6 was the latest, but since then GoPro Hero 7's out, so I'll just go over those settings. They are the same, but the menu's different on the Hero 7, so I'll just go over that quickly. Switch to time-lapse mode and go to night lapse mode and go into the Pro Tune settings. Again, shutter speed 30 seconds, interval, auto, field of view, wide, turn on raw, turn on Pro Tune, white balance 3200, but that's like a personal sort of preference. Color flat, and ISO max. Oh, actually, the Hero 7 has 1600 ISO, so you could probably bump it up to 1600. But just a word of warning: the higher the ISO the camera uses, the more noise you're going to get. So you can do a few test shots, do like 1 or 2 single shots first, and check it out, and then see if you're happy with it. One important detail that I forgot to mention, you're going to run your time lapse for several hours. The GoPro battery won't last that long. What I like to do is put a power bank in there. So I like to plug a power bank in with the GoPro, but if you have a smart power bank like I did, it'll charge the GoPro battery to 100%, and then the power bank will turn off, and then eventually this will just drain, and then it's going to run out and you're going to fall short. So what I found you can do is just take the battery out of the GoPro and then run it. Oops. And then run the power bank with the GoPro without a battery. It'll just be like you're having your GoPro plugged into a PowerPoint. and also use a tripod. This is tripod like this is probably better. I mean, you can use a Gorilla tripod, like I've got one here, but these aren't very strong. You want your photos or you want your GoPro to be as still as possible. If you have wind moving around, your time lapse is going to look all jerky. So yeah, a couple of things that are important.
Now I can show you how to find an area with low to little light pollution. What I use is light pollution map dot, where is it? Light pollution map.info. So we'll just wait till this loads. Right. So it's pretty easy to use. You've got your minus to expand. I'm sure you guys can figure that out. It's also got go to your location. So that's my location, and you can see the white area, that's the city. I live in Australia, so Melbourne's my closest city. So you don't even bother trying in anything, trying to do something like this in a red area. You just waste your time. You could probably try in a green area, and these are the blue areas, and then there's nothing, which is no light at all. So these are really dark areas, all here. When I did it, when I was just experimenting with it, I'll just put in that regional park. It's called the Yuyangs Regional Park. So you can put in your, if you've got a certain favorite location that you want to put in, you can put it in the search bar and chuck it in there. This was in the green area, so I thought I'd try my luck, and I remember I did it right here in this corner facing, and that's like a small sort of mountain, this area here. You might have better luck if you point the camera towards the blue to area here. The stars are really, really far away, obviously, so you might still have better results if you point the camera, say, in this example, this will be west, and the Milky Way was facing west, so that worked out for me. For example, if the Milky Way was facing south, you're going to get all this light pollution here. So yeah, you're better off trying to point it. If you're on the green, try and point it towards a dark area, which is blue to nothing. Okay. Another website is called Dark Site Finder. Dark Site Finder. I personally preferred the other one, Light Pollution Map, only because the search engine wasn't really accurate for me. I'm not sure if it's more accurate for people in the United States or Europe. But every time I put in like a location in Australia, it wouldn't find it, so I just stuck to Light Pollution Map. Now we'll go over the post-processing color grading on every photo. I use Adobe Lightroom. Um, you can get it online on the Adobe website. I think for a 7-day free trial. But I think Adobe charge you a plan per month, but you can try it out and see how you go. I think there's probably other products you could use, but Adobe Lightroom's pretty good. So anyway, open up Adobe Lightroom and import all your files, all your photos that you've taken. Now these are the uncolor graded files. Let's look another one, the Milky Way. There we go. So it's sort of just black and white. Unfortunately, the original time lapse I did was back in March when the Milky Way season was out. There's no Milky Way out at the moment, so what I've had to do, and I didn't keep the original raw files, unfortunately, but what I did was I extracted some uncolor graded files from a video that I did when I was testing it, and these are PNGs, so you're always better off editing raw files. They have the most data, but for the purpose of this tutorial, you'll still get the idea of how to do this. So let's import these into Lightroom. This, depending how many files you've got, it might take a few minutes, so we'll come back in a sec. So once these are finished imported, go to a picture with the most detail in there. So you'd want to pick a photo with the Milky Way core showing the most. So let's have a look at one. That's good. Alright, that's going further away. Let's try over here. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, so go to the Develop tab, and these are all your options here. So what I like to do first, I mean, and again, like, I don't know if this is the correct way or the most common practice of how to use Adobe Lightroom or editing Milky Way photos, but this is just what I've learnt from other YouTube tutorials and experience. So what I do is I go to my vibrance and saturation sliders, if I can find them, put them all the way to plus 100, so now that you have a really blown out picture. And I zoom in on a dark area, I play with the temperature, just try to get the right white balance. So that's going to orange. I try and get it sort of, it's pretty much okay on 0. So I might just leave it on 0. That's plus 2. But what you want to try and do is get a mixture of colors that looks okay. And then I'll pull back. So you've zoomed in, you've done that. I'll pull back and play with the tint and try and get a mixture of colors too. So that's too green. It looks about right. Yeah, -10. And now I'll go back to my vibrance and saturation and reset them back to 0. So that's, let's see the difference here. If I press the backslash key, yeah, see there's a little difference. That was a bit more of a bluish color. This is more black and white. So that's what you want. Now after this, I'll go to my lens correction and pick my camera lens that I picked, which was, I did this with a GoPro Hero 6 Black, and this will fix lens distortion, which means that fisheye effect you get on the GoPros. So after that, you can see a lot of noise here. So what you want to do is try and reduce that as much as possible. Noise reduction. Alright, so let's try and increase that. Most noise is around here. Let's try and reduce that a bit. If you increase it too high, you lose a lot of the star clarity. So that's, you can see there, it's lost a lot of this clarity of the stars. We'll just reduce it a little bit more, maybe at 50. Leave it at 50. Yeah, you're not going to give it all the noise. The GoPro sensors are very small, so they do create a lot of noise, especially in low light conditions. You can adjust the detail as well. So that's losing a lot of stars. You can increase the detail, but then you increase the noise too, so you might just leave it at 50 as well. Right, or 48 and 46. Okay, so what's next? So now we can play around with these sliders here. So you got your contrast, highlights, shadows, whites, blacks. So if I increase my whites, that'll bring out the stars a bit. Well, it's a bit way too much there, so just be subtle. So what was it? If you double, by the way, here's a tip, if you double click these sliders, it resets it back to 0. See? So I'll just increase it a tiny bit there. Decrease shadows a bit. Not many shadows to decrease anyway. Highlights. That brings down the noise pollution, the light pollution, not the noise pollution. Blacks. Might just leave it about there. Increase the clarity. That'll bring out the stars detail a bit more. Dehaze. Might help a bit more with the stars. And you got your vibrance, you might increase that, bring out some more color. And you can also play with more colors down here under calibration. That's too purple. Increase the saturation. Increase the green a bit. There's not much green to play with. So you could spend hours on this. I'm not going to spend hours on this tutorial. This is just sort of to show you how to do this. I might just leave it at there. So just to get you guys, an idea of how to do that. Transform will level the picture, so you should check this as well. But I don't think there's much to this. I had it on a straight tripod. Yep. That's pretty much it. So once you've done your colors and you're happy, you want to sync all these changes to all these pictures, and you don't need to do this individually manually. What you do is you have your main one selected, press Ctrl A on Windows, Command A on Mac to select all of them, and now the sync button will appear. So this will sync all your changes to all these pictures. So synchronization settings, normally I tick all of them, but we didn't crop this, so you don't need to tick that. But if you, whatever changes you've done, you want to make sure they're all highlighted. Okay, now next thing, we export all these photos. So you right click any of these pictures in this timeline, go to export. You want to export them as JPEG. Choose a location, give it a file name, sharpen screen high. Quality, max it out to 100. Uncheck resize to fit, so it doesn't make the image smaller. Resolution, put down 300 pixels per inch. And that's it. Now we export. I've already exported these, so it's telling me to override them, but you won't get that, so I'll just cancel them. So now we will make all these photos into a video clip. So I'll just get out of Lightroom. I use Premiere Pro, so we'll start up Premiere Pro. Go to New Project, Milky Way Tutorial. Now I think I've got one already named this. Yep. So I was just working on this before, so that's why I've already got a project name, that file. Now you can just import all the photos into the timeline. So if I find the photos, now to make it all like a video clip, just highlight the first one and check image sequence and select open. You don't need to highlight all of them, just highlight the first one, check image sequence and open that. Now that's made that into a video clip. So if you drag that into the timeline, maybe expand that, we can do a preview of how it will look. That's it. So there's plenty of Premiere Pro tutorials if you don't know how to use it, but you can slow it down, add music, add some other scenes, effects and stuff, but I'll just give you the basic rundown. Once you want to export, you just go to File, Export Media. Pick a name and location. So I'll just put it in the same location as I did the files. Save. And click entire sequence. hit export. That's pretty much it, guys.
So that's it for this tutorial, guys. Hopefully I've helped you guys out. This was my first ever tutorial on YouTube. If you have any feedback, leave it in the comments. If you like this video, please give us a like and a subscribe. It'll really help me out. Cheers, guys.